this will be some sort of hybrid speech, y'all, like almost graduation, like, and also talking about what I think of this year. So we'll keep on going this time. So this morning, y'all, for me, not much happened. It's just that as I was like in the library before we start our next final for the day, I wanted to go talk to this one person as I was like looking through the library's bookshelves, but eventually I ended up hesitating, and I hesitated for long enough that they eventually ended up calling someone else, and they went up to their other friend. Like I was in the background, like looking through a bunch of books, like what should I get, what should I look at, but I wanted to talk to that person, but I wasn't able to because I was hesitating. So for me, y'all, I kind of failed on that, definitely to be honest. But at least for me, y'all, what matters is that we tried. We tried to talk to him. We really had that intent to break our fears and talk to new people. So even though I wasn't able to, that intent matters. And that's the same thing that happened in between both of my finals during passing period. Again, I wanted to talk to another different person, but then again, I had to use the restroom. And my restroom needs have to go first before like interactions with people because it might be awkward if I did. So that's definitely that. What matters here is that I had the intent to talk to them, but even though I kind of failed at it, so it's okay though. We'll try better next time. But for me, for today, most of my finals are kind of chill, even though I definitely got a low score. Some of the responses are still to be graded. And as for me, it was great to be honest. Like it was more louder than yesterday because there was like more teachers. There was more people coming up to the teachers. There was like a bunch of more chitter chatter amongst students and amongst people. Me too. I even talked to this one other person in my class. They were kind of chill, but they were listening to music. So for me, today was kind of more social in terms of classroom noise than it was yesterday. So talking about me now, talking about how this year's going on, like a little bit of a speech. Talking about me this year was kind of like a mini journey. I remember that time I talked to that homeless man. Then to the other times I've interacted with other friend groups, breaking my fears along the way. For me, a lot has happened this year personally in how I see people. And even though nothing shows on the outside, I definitely think a little bit different now about other people. I remember that 4 months ago when I still had no connections, but 4 months later, here we are. Like we're no longer afraid to talk to new people. I only have my pickiness left in who I choose to interact with, so that's definitely an issue. But other than that, I mean, I'm definitely glad to have broken my fears. Even though I got rejected from another, it was like a few months ago, and even though I wasn't able to stay permanently in some friend groups, I think it was great. I got to learn a little bit of what each friend group was, and for me, a little bit of a journey. I definitely visited like a ton of people, or a bunch of random people that I met. May never know again, and that's okay. But at least, finally breaking that fear. And that's what matters. So even though we did meet a bunch of random people, at least some of them are now our friends, and that is absolutely great. I mean, going back to even more personal of my life, I remember this one time during this year, I was like multiple days, I finally completed FNAF Security Breach. Like it was a whole video game. I had to watch tutorials just to know where this is or that was. But eventually, like hours of editing, I finally completed the entire game, like all the entire process from the beginning to the end. Finally did it. So for me, definitely big congratulations to me. So good thing on that. And am I proud of that achievement? To be fair, y'all, yes. But the time lost in making those videos, yeah, definitely. No, I could have been a little bit more efficient, to be honest, back then. And what I've learned is that some people are not who I think they are. Right, but I would still take up that risk and go up to others and go up to these people. And the lessons I learned this year, y'all, is that not everyone's willing to accept me. Not because of who I am or what I look like, but because some are not ready yet. Some are still deciding, and some are still thinking of other things, and that's fine. So but in doing so, as I interacted with a lot of these friend groups, as I interacted with a bunch of people, what I realized is that these fears were slowly chipped away. They took those fears away from me so that the next friend groups that I interact with, I wouldn't have that fear again. So definitely, for me, not scared of approaching people anymore, not scared of being seen, definitely proud of that. All in all, for me, this is not the end. For all of you guys, this is not the end either. As much as I love to make this a graduation or reflection type of speech, the speech that's open ended because there's still the other half of my high school years left that are remaining. And we can still make good decisions. Find a good girlfriend. Don't find someone who's toxic. Find a friend group that offers enough stability for us to live. Find this or that. It's anything that you'd wish. Think of it that way. But provided that you give the effort forth. And so even though I don't have that type of person who inherits friend groups from middle school or from family, no permanent group and not many supporters within the school place, at least we have some potential solutions to my lack of friend groups. And I'll be sure to apply these next year and see finally solves our social equation. And once I do, I'll spend most of my time there. But maybe one day out of the week, I might choose to explore a new friend group, and that'll definitely be in the cafeteria. And if I don't find a friend group next year yet, then I'll be focusing all of my attention in the cafeteria because I've just broken my fear there, and I want to make sure that fear is broken. And obviously, there's like a bunch of other people I have never interacted with before in there, so definitely for that next year, I'll be in that cafeteria. I didn't graduate academically, but I think I've made a foundational change. And of course, also hesitate. This doesn't guarantee me like the entire world. This doesn't guarantee me like a whole place to say it, but it guarantees something in the future for people like us. Something is going to happen. Think of it like that. I can't articulate the words. I'll go ahead and drop this graduation cap right now. As you guys can see, this one says 2026. And also, this one's also for the class of 2026. As much as this cap drop for me is something that's symbolic, this one's also for the actual class of 2026. Congratulations to y'all. I know I'm saying this pretty early, I'm not gonna lie, but this one's for y'all. Even though this itself is not a graduation speech, congratulations to the class of 2026, y'all. Hope you guys make it and enjoy your life, I guess. I haven't made like a speech for the class of 2026, but all I wish to y'all is Godspeed.